Hello, I'm Richard Vobes, the Bald Explorer, and I'm taking another stroll during the lockdown period. And those of you who've been watching will know that I've had a bad back recently and been unable to get out and do anything, but it seems to have got better. Must have been that Radian bee I've heard so much about. I'm in Goring, down by the sea. I've actually just popped out in my car, which I know we're not supposed to do, but I have done that because my car's been stationary for so long. I thought I'd better just make sure that it starts, and I think it's very wise just to let the mechanics have a little bit of a run. So I have popped out, but only about 3 miles over to Goring from Worthing to my father's house, and I'm going to have a little check on that because it's been empty for quite some time, and I thought I'll get 2 birds done with 1 stone. It's early in the morning, so it's before the hordes come out. It's at about 7:15 actually. So I thought I'd just walk around a little bit of this area, go down to the seafront, show you the seafront, and another bit of the Worthing coastline to be covered. It's a very nice place that my dad had lived. He, as you saw, was basically just up this road behind me. I'm in Alinora Avenue, I think this is, and this whole area I think was developed from the 30s onwards, but other than that I think there was farmland here pretty much mostly, and fishing. I'm not too clued up on the history of Goring. There are a couple of older properties in and around there, but I don't know where they are, so I'm not even going to attempt. However, I can tell you that there is this rather magnificent green sward down here on the seafront, lined with teeth at the far end. Oh no, sorry, beach huts. And on here they often have various events throughout the year, which is very nice to sort of wander around. And a lot of windsurfing, I think. My dad chose this area really to come down and live and retire. He was still running his business at the time, but he had about 20 years to go before he retired, and must have been here really, I suppose, about 30 odd years, I seem to recall. And he loved it here. He loved it here. Sadly, he died in a nursing home. He would have liked to have died at home, and I think we still have his ashes, my sister and I. Well, I have them in my house actually. My sister has my mother's ashes, funnily enough. And I think he would like to be scattered somewhere here. I don't know what the legal ramifications of that are, but I think that's where he will eventually be scattered. But we've been trying to sell his house for a while. I'm going to talk about that in a separate video. But this is a lovely place in the morning, as you can see, on a very still morning, to come and just relax. Lots of people walk their dogs, obviously, and joggers use the seafront, the promenade, to go. But I think it's pretty much unchanged since the 30s. It's got this rather grand looking shelter to shelter you from rain and wind, which I'm fast approaching. When my dad was suffering from dementia for the last 2 years of his life really, I used to take him in the pushchair up here, and he very much appreciated coming out to his favourite haunts, and he used to love to come here and sit by this shelter, look at the beach huts and reminisce about what he used to do in his life. The sad thing was, of course, as dementia took hold of him, he would forget. And I would say, "Oh Dad, do you remember when you had a beach hut?" And he had a beach hut along here somewhere. And then in 1987, the Great Storm, all the beach huts, not all of them, but a great deal of them, all tumbled down this little ridge here and were strewn across the green sward. And my dad, being canny, he collected up the bits because he couldn't re-erect them, dragged them back to his house, turned them into a potting shed. Just going to come off the prom there to have a look at the actual beach here, and they're lovely. These do look a bit tired now, I have to confess. All locked up. I wonder how long they're going to be locked up. Great big padlock there, presumably weatherproofed, although very rusty. And the sea goes out quite a distance here. Now I know you've got the sun and I'm in silhouette a bit here, but right back that way 3 miles is Worthing and the pier, and you would have seen me fairly recently take a walk in that direction. Then if I pan to the right, that is west, and again a huge vast stretch, and the tide right out. That is some distance. So I want to stroll a little bit further up past the Sea Lane Cafe and just take you to the sort of headland bit where this green sward ends. There are a fascinating little avenue of trees, and then a second, or the Ferring green sward, begins. Just coming up to the Sea Lane Cafe now, just up here in front of me, opposite this wonderful view. It is a bit rocky out there, there's sand and rock. If you wanted to go out and see what's on at the Worthing Borough Council, you can't. Rob Brydon on the right there, probably not doing very much at the moment, like most of us. However, Sea Lane Cafe just here, this rather curious sort of square cabin-like building, was where I used to take Dad to have a cup of tea and a piece of cake. Very popular place, and for years whenever I would come down to see Dad from Horsham or wherever I was staying as a younger man, he would take me here too, to the Sea Lane Cafe. And right now, this time of year, Easter, it would be doing amazing business. It's always busy, and had such a captive audience, of course, with the elderly who principally lived in this area. I think it's getting younger, but this sort of area is more an elderly set of people would live here. I think a lot of retired colonels and ex-military folk came down in the 30s and beyond, after the First World War, and the careers had finished, and these new places are being erected. So I think that's where a lot of them came from, and then it just became a bit of a place, because there's not really that much here for a younger generation to do, but a great place to slow down and enjoy the countryside and the sea, really. So you get this other sward here. This is I've slightly misplaced myself there, because The trees I was thinking about are right up at that end, and then there's another sward. So there's these 3 big green swards which are enjoyed by everybody. You've got the sort of 40s houses that have gone over there as this has continually been extended. The farmland that I think used to come right down here has been bought and built on, like everywhere, and up through these very wispy, wind-beaten trees, which, just going to see if I can see what they are. There's some sort of fir trees. Here we go, look. Some fir, but an evergreen. I mean, not an evergreen, because they seem to have lost a lot of their leaves. Deciduous, I didn't know they did, but fantastic little walkway through all these trees. Somebody will know what they are and let me know, because I'm quite fascinated now. It's a very tranquil setting here. You can just go by these peculiar shaped, windswept, as I say, trees which at different times of the day and different lights give you a different feeling. And then you're back out again onto the seafront. Let's go down onto the sand. A bit more crunching to be done as we work our way down. These beaches at this end, nowhere near as busy as you would get down at Worthing. Some of them would get busier, but the more you go westwards, the less busy you get. Hello, got a friend. I think one thing that this lockdown does, and I'm sure that's for everybody who's had the opportunity to get out, and I know that there are people who are stuck in flats with copious members of family and you're all on top of each other. But maybe that this is just the same point for them, really. That it really does make you appreciate the freedom that we have ordinarily in normal times. I think because the whole world is pretty much in lockdown, this common experience will probably etch itself on the minds of everyone. I should hope it does. And that we all appreciate that ability to get out when we can. And maybe more people will, after this is over, get out and explore not just everything around them, you know, the rest of the country, but also their little area. I've certainly found this these few moments when you can get out, and I've been going out early, very rewarding indeed. Well, it's absolutely beautiful. Looking back towards the pier 3 miles away, I don't know how much you can see on a wide angle lens, but there are people, little sticks, picking their way across the stony flats of Worthing and Goring seafront. That's it today. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to follow, like and subscribe. Become a patron. Support what I do if you can. It's very handy. All the information is at baldexplorer.com. Don't forget to like, follow, give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.